name's Chelsymol Maruthanadiyil.
And my name is Sonia, and today we'll be discussing how we've grown in our faith.
Okay, so just like most of us Malayalis, Sonia and I were born into the faith. Our parents are Catholic, our grandparents are Catholic, pretty much all our family members are Catholic, our cousins, aunts, and uncles. So, growing up in a strong Catholic family, it was routine to go to Sunday Mass every week and to pray every night. But why? To be completely honest, for the majority of my life, I prayed and went to church because everyone around me did. I never realized how fruitful and important being Catholic really was. In fact, I thought that going to church and praying was just the right thing to do. But it's so much more than that. Being Catholic is far more than just the right thing to do. Being Catholic, you have an ongoing personal encounter with Christ. And growing your faith as a Catholic is like building a relationship with someone. But in this case, that someone is Jesus. And he will always love you. He will never hurt you. And he will always be there for you no matter what. And that's why it's so important to pray, to do the rosary, and to go to Mass. Because just like every relationship, in order to really understand someone, it takes time and effort.
So growing up, I saw going to church as a safe place, especially when I was feeling stressed or overwhelmed. But it took some time to realize that being Catholic isn't just something we are when we need to complain or when we need something from God, but instead it's a relationship that needs to be worked on just like every other relationship. Different people in my life were inspirations, and these people challenged me to be a better version of myself. For example, if you have a conversation with my grandpa, it's going to most likely be about God. He always has this peace and trust within him, and that was always mysterious to me. So I really wanted to understand where and how that came. So I turned to the Mass and different things my local church offered, like retreats for the youth. And these things really served as a foundation for my faith. Seeing young people genuinely want to learn and grow continued to inspire me, especially since these people were ordinary people just like me.
Yeah, I love how Sonia mentioned ordinary people. Because for the longest time, I thought that I needed to earn God's love. I thought I needed to be so great and extraordinary to be a follower of Christ. But in reality, God loves you for who you are, no matter where you are in your faith. You don't need to be perfect to receive God's blessings and graces. But when you do pray, and when you do go to church, and when you read the Bible, it definitely helps you understand God's love more clearly.
So when I had to pick a college, San Diego State really caught my attention when I saw how close the Catholic ministry called the Newman Center was to campus. And since my local church at home was something so important to me growing up, I was happy that I would have a church close to me while away from home. Those who attend the Newman Center are students like me who live in the same generation and understand what it's like to be a college student at this time. To see young people actually wanting to go to church and to learn about the truth was inspiring. These people were proud of the faith, and they also lived a life that was exciting and fun. A lot of times it's scary to give God the chance because we think living the Catholic faith may be boring or even uncool. But these people showed that embracing the faith is a lifestyle worth living that can bring happiness and joy a way that nothing else can.
Yeah, you mentioned how being Catholic is so often viewed as uncool and boring. And honestly, I thought that being religious would be boring and uncool too. But really being religious isn't anything near that. You don't need to drop all the fun things out of your life to love God. Instead, you're just really inviting God to every part of your life. From there, he will help you decide on what is good and what could end up being bad for you. And he will help you replace those bad things with even more good things.
So in order to better understand the faith, I joined a Bible study which was led by a missionary from the Newman Center named Ali. I didn't know what to expect, and to be quite honest, I also didn't know whether I'd be able to dedicate about an hour each week. But I knew there were many things I didn't understand, so I gave it a chance. These Bible studies allowed me to learn more than I could have ever on my own. Learning about God and also growing in friendship with people who truly cared about me and my soul allowed me to grow. But regardless of the joys of the Newman Center, my first year of college brought new challenges and difficulties. I always saw God as good since my situation was good. My parents are loving, my siblings are like my best friends, and I was blessed with authentic friendships. But when I had to face multiple challenges, I felt so easily shaken. When something didn't go as I planned, it felt so easy to question God's love while also blaming Him. But during a retreat in the middle of our semester, our priest brought multiple relics of saints, and I found myself realizing how so many people gave up their entire lives for God, and how no one would do that for someone who was not merciful or loving. My friend also mentioned how every experience of love comes from God, because God is love itself. And that moment, I was able to see how God had been loving me so abundantly through people like my sister and my brother, and the sacrificial love of my parents, and my friends like Allie in the Newman Center, even when I was so blind in seeing it.
And that's why it's so important to surround yourself with people who want the best for you. Because God doesn't only speak to you through prayer, He speaks to you through your friends and family too.
Just like any relationship, a relationship with God is something personal. We have to take the time to talk to Him, just like how we talk to our friends. One of my favorite ways to pray now is this 3-step method. The first step is to praise. So I thank God for all the things that happened in my day and that I am especially grateful for. The second step is to ask. This is when I bring my intentions to Him, and this acknowledges that we are dependent on His help and that we believe He wants to help us. The last step is to listen. In this final step, we give Him the chance to speak to us. Just like every relationship, both people should have the chance to speak. So the 3 steps are praise, ask, and listen. We give our time to the things that matter to us. So we should be able to give God a few minutes of our day, and doing so can really transform our life.
I agree. The biggest thing that helped me keep my faith going is by freely being Catholic in every part of my life. I let God be a part of everything that I'm involved in, not just my private life, but my social life too. You know, it's so hard to see God in your life if you just narrow Him down to be a part of it for only 1 hour on Sundays. During a focus retreat, a speaker did a really great job in explaining this concept. So he said that some people wear multiple hats. For example, on Sundays, you wear your religious hat. When you wear this hat, you seem very religious, you are in the mood to go to church, and you actually practice being a Catholic. But as soon as you leave church, you take off your religious hat, and you don't affiliate with God anymore.
Then the next day, say it's Monday, you wake up and you wear your school hat. You focus entirely on school and your life goals, but something is missing. You forget about God.
Then you're done with school and you're ready to hang out with your friends, and you wear your social hat. This hat identifies the fun and adventurous side of you. But again, something is missing, and that's God. So the main takeaway of this is you shouldn't be living different personalities with different parts of your life. Those who leave everything in God's hands eventually see God's hands in everything. So instead of taking each hat off and living a different life everywhere you go, you should instead embrace who you are and be the same person each part of your life. So going back to the hat analogy, you should wear your school hat and be ambitious every day. You should wear your social hat and every day embrace the fun person you are. But most importantly, you should wear your religious hat on top of it all and always embrace your morals, your values, and invite God to be a part of it all.
Many people don't like what they wrongly perceive the Catholic Church to be. Our view of God and the Catholic faith can be so easily distorted, and it's hard to love a God if we think He's an unloving rule maker, when that isn't who He is. So I just challenge you to see where God can take you by giving Him a chance and learning about Him through His Word, reading spiritual books, watching videos and movies about the faith, and having honest and open conversations with your friends. But most importantly, by talking to God Himself through personal prayer.
നമുക്ക് പ്രാർത്ഥിക്കാം. മരിച്ചവരെ ഉയർപ്പിക്കുകയും രോഗികളെ സുഖപ്പെടുത്തുകയും ചെയ്തുകൊണ്ട് ജീവന്റെയും മരണത്തിന്റെയും മേലുള്ള ആധിപത്യം തെളിയിക്കുകയും ദുഃഖിതരോടുള്ള സ്നേഹവാത്സല്യങ്ങൾ പ്രകടമാക്കുകയും ചെയ്ത മിശിഹായെ, വിവിധ രോഗങ്ങളാൽ പീഡിതരായിരിക്കുന്ന ഞങ്ങളുടെ സഹോദരങ്ങളെ കരുണാപൂർവം അനുഗ്രഹിക്കണമേ. അങ്ങ് സഹിച്ച ക്ലേശങ്ങളുടെയും ചിന്തിയ തിരുരക്തത്തിൻ്റെയും യോഗ്യതകൾ പരിഗണിച്ച് രോഗികൾക്ക് രോഗശാന്തിയും ആരോഗ്യവും നൽകണമേ. അനുതപിക്കുന്ന പാപികൾക്ക് സ്വർഗരാജ്യം വാഗ്ദാനം ചെയ്ത മിശിഹായെ, ഇവർക്ക് മനസ്താപത്തിൻ്റെ വരം നൽകുകയും ഇവരുടെ പാപങ്ങൾ മോചിക്കുകയും ചെയ്യണമേ. ഇനിയും ഇവർ വേദനകൾ സഹിക്കണമെന്നാണ് അങ്ങ് തിരുമനസ്സാകുന്നതെങ്കിൽ ക്ഷമയോടും ദൈവതിരുമനസ്സിനോടുള്ള വിധേയത്തോടും കൂടി വേദനകൾ സഹിക്കുവാനുള്ള ശക്തി ഇവർക്ക് നൽകണമേ. കർത്താവാം മിശിഹാതൻ കാരുണ്യവും താതനാം ദൈവത്തിൻ സംപ്രീതിയും പരിശുദ്ധാത്മാവിൻ സഹവാസവും നമ്മിലുണ്ടാകേണമെന്നുമെന്നും നമ്മിലുണ്ടാകേണമെന്നുമെന്നും.